Okay, the next question is from Councillor Peter May.
Thank you. I'll take this one, refreshing change here. Thank the cabinet member for his answer on this. I'm particularly interested in his answer to part C. The consultation period ended on the 4th of February. But here we have a during that consultation period, there were 2 public events. There were plans for the Walter Road section shown on the table, which 500 people bothered to engage with, taking their time and to make inputs into the proposals for the Walter Road section of the project. Is the cabinet member in his answer saying that the bid was submitted prior to the consultation concluding, and as I assume so, as we've not had the consultation report back? So is the cabinet member saying that a bid for the substantive active travel programme in Walter Road has in fact been submitted prior to the consultation being concluded?
No, that's not necessarily what I'm saying. You know, we'll take on board comments from the consultation, and as you know, Councillor May, we do have an ambitious active travel programme in Swansea to provide safe provision for the people who walk or cycle through the area. So no.
So sorry, to clarify, it says a grant bid has been submitted for the first phase of work along Walter Road. So you're now telling me you haven't submitted the bid?
Can I clarify? The cabinet member is absolutely right. That I think if he chose his words as I heard them, he said that's not what I'm saying. What I believe he alluded to was the fact that yes, of course, we have submitted a bid, as we do every year, because we have a rolling programme, and we've submitted a bid, I think 6-7 years ago now, for the entire network in terms of a proposal. What Councillor Stevens did say was, obviously, we will take on board the comments coming back from the consultation, and that will inevitably affect potentially the design of the scheme and the options that we go with. Now, should we get to a position whereby the route cannot be delivered for any reason, then we could always hand the bid back. But if we had not applied for the money in the first instance, we would not be able to deliver it, even if we came up with a solution that was acceptable to everybody. And that's the position. And I would say, again, members have to keep in mind that what we are creating here is an active travel network across the whole of Swansea. It allows people to get from one part of the city to another, and it's not for one single ward to pull down the whole network. We are not a collection of individual NIMBY councillors. We have to think about the broader needs of the city. So Councillor Stevens was absolutely right. That what he hasn't done is to make a bid which says we're going to do it this way. That we will take account of the consultation, and I don't think his words should be misrepresented.
I'd actually take issue at that, Leader. First of all, I'd prefer it when the cabinet member actually answered his own questions without being bailed out by his leader.
Excuse me, point of order, Chair. Point of order, Chair. I will decide if I answer a finance question or not. Councillor May asked a question about a grant. As the cabinet member for finance, I'm responsible for all grants in this facility. So I will decide who is the appropriate cabinet member for what part of the question. If he wants to ask about the detail of the active travel route, I'm sure Councillor Stevens will advise him on that. But I deal with finance, and I will answer finance questions.
Okay, so I will return onto the active travel theme of it, which I hope Councillor Stevens will in fact answer. So can affected members in that of Castle Sketty and Uplands Ward actually have sight of the bid that was actually submitted, please, together with the plans? Because, as I said, people turned up to that consultation event in good faith to make modifications to the plan. So what exactly has been submitted to the Welsh Government? Can we have sight of it, please, or do we have to resort to freedom of information request?
Yes, thank you, Councillor May. Yes, you can have sight for that, and I did misunderstand your initial question as the way you word on it. You went round and round and round and round and round. But I do take umbrage in what you said in those comments. To be quite honest, there wasn't really any need for that. As I said, as I told you earlier, we've got an ambitious active travel programme in Swansea. And our focus, and as the leader said, our focus is not simply providing active travel infrastructure within a community. It's about making sure that we link up neighbouring communities so that eventually residents can safely travel anywhere in Swansea, or either on bike or foot, offering safe travel options for everyone. And as you might know, there has been a bit of checkered road safety concerns along that stretch of the corridor, and the active travel route could seek to address that. So,
one final point. So how does what has actually happened reconcile with the consultation strategy this council passed a couple of sessions ago? In other words, submitting a bid prior to a consultation ending.
Again, if Councillor May will not object, as the Cabinet Member for Finance and as he's talking about the bid, as I tried to explain earlier, we always apply for the route on the basis that a scheme will be agreed of a certain aspect. There may be differences in design, there may be differences in routing, all of those things are potential, but we have been successful more than any other council in Wales in terms of securing active travel funding. So it does not predetermine the route or the design of the scheme. As Councillor Stevens has said, that consultation will continue to feed in. Further discussions will be had, and hopefully we can come up at the end of it with a route that the majority of people can corral around and support. But there is still the opportunity, as I said earlier, if we got to a position where it couldn't be delivered for any reason, then we would hand that money back to Welsh Government. I wouldn't want us to be in that position because, of course, Welsh Government quite rightly say, well, if you're not a serious authority about delivering on the schemes that we're prepared to fund, then we will not look kindly on future funding. So there are risks in that. But as I explained, this is about creating a network. And I think the original plan went in 2017, 2018, maybe. So, if Peter May, or Councillor May is concerned, then he's 6 years too late.
Councillor McEtrick.
I won't belabor things. Actually, a lot of the points have now been covered. I shared some of the concerns when I saw that. I think some sort of active travel, as you say, has been on the plans for a long time, and I'm broadly in favour of it. I've cycled up that road. It is dangerous, but the details do matter. And I would just, the questions have been covered. It's just an appeal. Can we please try and get these consultations in as early as possible? There is huge cynicism amongst the public about these already. They think it's rubber stamping. And when things like this happen, that only reinforces that. So I think the questions have been covered, and for brevity, I won't say them again, but please, can we try and get the consultations in earlier?
Councillor McEtrick. Councillor Fogarty.
Thanks. Yeah, just on the back of that, I would say that the cynicism in the public is not helped by these kind of questions coming in from specific wards. I wanted to ask, would the Cabinet Member agree that given the first line of his answer is that this is a key strategic highway corridor for all modes of highway users, that actually this is about investing for all of the people of Swansea, whether it be people who are coming in and out of the city centre, whether it's people who are working along that route, frankly, whether it's people who are breathing the air of Swansea, because that's what active travel is all about. It's about modal shift, moving people out of their cars, which are highly damaging for the environment, and giving them alternative options. So, yeah, any comment on that? Thank you.
absolutely spot on. Yes, I would agree.
Councillor Phillips.
I suppose this is a question to the leader. Would he not agree that it's a bit rich of Councillor May to come here demanding answers from Cabinet members on particular questions, when, if I remember rightly, during his term as the Cabinet Member for Housing, he not only never presented a report to Council during the whole of his time, but when there were any questions or any difficult things, he never bothered to turn up at all.
My recollection, I think, is similar to yours, Councillor Phillips, and I do not recall many occasions when Councillor May contributed or fetched a report to the council. But again, we are talking many years ago. However, I I will go back and try that. He may have said something in some meeting at some point, and then he'll call us out. But no, look, one thing I am clear about is the cabinet members that we have at this point in time are certainly very much more capable and very much more briefed than than some of the colleagues were at the time, because for many of the items we didn't have cabinet members presenting reports. It was often officers, and we are now a member-led authority.
There was no need for that at all. And I think you should apologise, because I don't care what you say, the people tried their very best, and you should acknowledge that, because we all stand on one another's shoulders. Fair enough. If you didn't particularly like the individual, that's fine, but please do not disparage them.
I meant no offence, but I will hold by the point that I believe this administration is well briefed and they are well on top of their portfolios.
Come back on Councillor Phillips's remark about me. Unfortunately, I was unable to attend the council meeting as it was 10 days. As it was 10
Hang on,
days.
we're not having crosstalk
Yeah.
across the chamber.
Chairman, my question was directed towards the leader. He can't answer
Okay.
questions from, because I'm not asking him.
Okay.
No, this is the
Point of
point.
order,
We need to move on, okay?
No.
Point of order.
I want to explain the reason that I wasn't at a
I've got
council meeting.
I've got a point of order from councillor Daly.
The point of order is that this is councillor question time. It is not for table tennis questions to go back and forth to individuals. If he doesn't like the answer, it's a bit tough. He's asked a question,
Okay.
he's had an answer.
Okay.
Let's move on.
Dear, oh
please.
dear, oh dear. Yeah, one rule for one for another.
I said he's entitled to an explanation, okay? So I'm going to let you speak.
Very much. The explanation I will give Councillor Phillips is that, yes, I did miss a council meeting as cabinet member of the budget. The reason for it was the last time I saw my father, and he died 10 days later. So apologies for missing that.
Councillor Hopkins, did you want to speak? No. Okay.